All right, let's do this. Hello. So we are letting folks jump on here. I am so excited to talk about books today. Alrighty, welcome. Oh, people are filing in. So terrific. So while we wait for everyone to get settled, I would love to know what was the best book that you read this year. Hi, Carol. Hi, Carrie. Marley. Hey, guys. Teresa, Ricky. So yes, tell me the best book you read this year to kick off this conversation today. Hey, Selena. Hey, Natalie. Alrighty. This is going to be so good. Make sure. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know on that, because sometimes I wonder, because my phone is like sitting on something. So I just want to make sure that our audio is good. Hello, Limitless by Jim Quick. That's a good one. Alrighty. Okay, hello, Renee. Hello, Crafting with Your Neighbors. Okay, sounds great. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. Hello, Lisa. Yay, so fun. I love this. I love this. Volume great. Perfect. Welcome, everyone. I am so glad to be here today. If you participated yesterday, you know we're kind of hopping around here to different social media channels because we want everyone to participate in the planning party. That's what is going on this week. So if you do not know me, my name is Jennifer Wilson, and I am your guide here at Simple Scrapper. I started this community in 2008 to experiment with scrapbooking and find my own way in the hobby, and it very much blossomed into something much bigger than that. If you want a longer introduction, make sure you head over to our YouTube channel, which is just youtube.com/simplescrapper, to watch yesterday's kickoff event. I went a little bit deeper into my story and the history of Simple Scrapper, and really the heart of what we do here. We are all about helping you have a happy and productive experience. And one of the ways we do that is through our nonfiction book club. So next year will be the 7th year of our book club, and it's been so good, and we've read so many amazing books and some not so amazing books too, and it's just hard to believe it's been so long. And I'm so excited about what we are doing next year. So Monica says Change Enthusiasm was her favorite of this year. So fun. Carrie's favorite fiction was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Ooh. Ginny's is The Dictionary of Lost Words. Wow, okay, super fun. Yes. I love this. So one of the things I love about the book club is that inside of our membership, we have what are you reading posts every month, and then there's just this ongoing conversation because we've discovered that in general, scrapbookers, we love words, we love adding this to our photos and our craftiness. We also tend to be readers. Ooh, K. Ryder 1970 read Soundtracks by John Acuff. That is a big hint for next year. Okay, so let me tell you what's going to happen in 2022. So I would say almost since the very beginning, we have shared discussion guides for our books. And so for every single selection, I prepared a list of questions. For a long time, I had all of the questions. It was like a 4 or 5 page thing with all of my favorite quotes from the book and lots of discussion questions following on that. And then this year, we switched to a 9-question format. Actually, I think it was the end of last year. And this format has worked out so well. 9 questions is just the right amount for us to cover inside of our book club meetings. And it just allows us to really focus on what are some of the key discussion points that we want to have instead of all the discussion points. So I'm so excited for that for next year, and even more excited because I'm going to be inviting 6 guest hosts. So these are 6 of our members have volunteered. They're actually being paid. They're not just volunteers. They are working with me to co-host our book club next year. And so they will be putting together the questions, picking their favorite quotes, and helping me facilitate these really amazing discussions. And I wanted to do this for a really particular reason. I wanted to do this to just expand the perspectives and the voices around these conversations. We've read so many different books over the years. We focus on nonfiction, personal development, self-help type books, a lot on creativity and productivity, and a little bit of memoir. And of course, sometimes those books have some memoir elements to them, and sometimes we read very pure memoirs. And I've asked a lot of questions over the years, and at a certain point, we ask the same questions again and again. How do we take this knowledge and apply it to our scrapbooking? And I'm so looking forward to what our guest hosts are going to be asking and how they can just add to that conversation with their experiences and perspectives as readers and as scrapbookers. And I have a kitten chomping on my leg. So hold on a second here. You guys need to meet Hermione. So this is Hermione. We'll have to have a little kitten spam here because she was just crawling up my leg here as I was trying to talk to you guys. So they've just entered my office today for the first time, and it's been quite an adventurous morning. So yes, okay, that's Hermione. Ron is currently chasing his shadow on the floor. So if he comes over, I will pick him up for you guys. All right, kitten break. Now they're down each other's tails. So it is a super fun time here in the Wilson household. All right, let's get to the books. So we're going to go through one by one. We have 6 selections for next year. And the reason we're doing 6 instead of 12 is because it worked so well this year. Yes, you can read 12. You can read more than that. I know some of you are so voracious readers. But we do have a kind of breadth of intensity within our readers. Some of us read a little bit every year and some of us read a ton. And also because these tend to be thoughtful, very kind of deep application type books, we wanted to create this space in our calendar so that you have time to think about what you've read and figure out how you're going to start applying it to your life. And so 6 is plenty for the year. 12 in all nonfiction is a lot to be able to really take it in. And so if we could take away 6 different things throughout the year to apply to your life, to apply to your scrapbooking, that would just be amazing. And maybe 3 things from one book and 1 from another. It just depends on what's interesting to you. But I think this pace of 6 things per year, we're continuing through a lot of what we're doing, and with our selections that has really worked, and we're excited to continue that. And so these fall in line with our 6 creative journeys. We have habits, organization, storytelling, photos, projects, and planning. These follow the same pattern as this past year. In the future, we might shuffle them up a bit, but we felt really comfortable kind of continuing that pattern, in particular because habits is a great January, February conversation, and planning is definitely that end of the year conversation. And of course, organization in that spring cleaning time zone. So we will follow that again this year. All right, let's jump in. So for January, February, for the habits theme, we are reading Soundtracks by Jon Acuff. So this one has been recommended to me by a number of our members and those beyond the scrapbooking community as a really interesting exploration of those of us who are overthinkers and how we can use that to our advantage to kind of change a little bit of those stories that we're telling ourselves. And Natalie Schmidt, who is Clicking, Cropping, Curating Canuck here, is our guest host for that book. And so we're excited. Natalie's a longtime member, and we know she's going to kick things off perfectly with her discussion questions. So super looking forward to starting the year with this. And as we did this year with Atomic Habits, I'm kind of anticipating that this particular book will be a thread that we pull through our conversations throughout the year, because I think we're all here together probably because we are overthinkers. You're attracted to the Simple Scrapper community because we think a lot, we talk a lot about what we're thinking, about what we're feeling, and how we can make changes that are thoughtful and intentional to our hobby and to our lives to support our hobby. So we're super excited to dive into that one. All right, March and April is our organization journey. And so we're going to be reading Work Clean by Dan Charnas. And this is also known as Everything in Its Place. They gave it a different title and cover for the paperback edition. So if you can't find Work Clean, look for Everything in Its Place, but Dan Charnas. And this one is all based on this French culinary idea of mise en place. And so that's when you prepare all your little ingredients before you start cooking to make your process go smooth and easy. And so that is very quickly applicable to scrapbooking, but I'm so curious to explore what he has to say about this and to think about how we can use this elsewhere in our lives to find more flow throughout all the things that we do. And so I think this is going to be a really fun one. It's the one that's the most kind of organized-y, of course, because it's the organization theme next year. And so I think it's going to be a standout conversation. And member Lori Abruscato is going to be leading that one. She has a little bit of culinary background herself, and her husband is in that industry as well. And so we're super excited to just bring the food conversation into it. All right, May and June is our storytelling theme. And we have long wanted to read a book by Kelly Corrigan, and we're going to read Tell Me More. And so this one, I think, is going to really connect well with Laura Tremaine's book from this year. And this one is all about more difficult conversations, and we can very easily connect that with, we have a kitten here again, that we can very easily connect that with the stories that we're telling. One of the biggest questions that I get asked is, how do I tell difficult stories, challenging ones, hard ones, things that sucked? How do I document this with humor, with authenticity, with love and reflection, and just realism? How can I document this in my scrapbooking? And so I think this particular book is going to be really amazing at helping us wrap our brains around those things, give us more context, and feel more confident including those in our scrapbooks. And Alyssa Williams is going to be our leader for that conversation. We can see we have some Kelly Corrigan fans here. All right, that is our first three. Let's continue. And I will tell you that as soon as this live stream is over, I will be pressing go on the website to share all the links to these books as well. And when you do shop through those links, it does support Simple Scrapper. So even if you end up checking out the book from your library, if you start there and then place a different Amazon order, that does support the business and the things that we do here for you guys. All right, I'm gonna take a sip here. So awesome to see so many familiar and new faces here today. All righty, July and August is our photos creative journey. And we're reading This Is Where You Belong by Melody Warnick. And this one is really interesting because I've always been very fascinated by this idea of a sense of place and feeling connected to places, because I've certainly had those experiences in my life. And this one specifically will talk about how you can feel at home no matter where you are. And what does it mean to have those feelings? And this connects so perfectly with the Pieces of Home conversation this week that Allie Edwards is hosting. And I just think this is going to be a really good one, particularly for that July, August time period when maybe, we're in summer mode where we're go, 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 and we're starting to think about coming back home for the fall. So I think that's going to be a good one. And Terry Torres, who is here, is going to be our guest host for that conversation. And so we're really looking forward to that one as well. That one is definitely, as is Kelly Corrigan's, has some memoir elements. And actually these last 4 of the year have a little more memoir elements to them. Some are a little bit more prescriptive and some are a little bit more personal stories. So, I love that Scrappy Annie says, I've never considered using nonfiction and memoir to support my scrapbooking hobby. She is intrigued. Yes, we've had just some of the most insightful conversations about taking just, random author saying, you should try this. This can produce this result. And saying, okay, if we think about this in terms of creativity or storytelling or the process of making something, how can we connect those together? And we've seen our book club participants have amazing transformations inside of their own hobbies by applying that wisdom. In particular, Atomic Habits this year has been really, I think, shaking for a lot of folks. This was a reread for us, and then we also had it as kind of our foundational study group for the whole year because it's one of the best books that I've read on habits. I've read so many of them, and it really breaks it down into very actionable, memorable steps. So that's one of the things that I loved about it. I'm sure we'll visit it again someday because it's that good. All right, September, October is our projects journey. This is where we're all starting to think about finishing things for the year, thinking about our processes, the things that aren't done, why that is. And we're going to be reading Take Back Your Time by Christy Wright. So this is a recent book that is kind of moving up the charts right now, and I'm really interested to see what she has to say about redefining balance in your life. And member Selena Brown, who I think I saw here today as well, is going to be leading that conversation. And this one and the next book I think are going to have some similarities and some big differences. So I think it'll be really interesting to compare those and see which way you lean, what perspective resonates best with you, and what can we take from both of those to move forward. I love when we have selections where one kind of builds on the other, and we can then wrap that into some further advice going forward. So I think that one is going to be really good. Time is definitely the biggest conversation. How can I find more time for the things that are important to me? How can I make time for scrapbooking? How can I make sure that I'm showing up to the time that I've committed to so that I can make progress on my projects? And then finally, for the planning creative journey, which is going to take us a whole year in the future, we'll be back in the midst of the planning party next year. We'll be reading Drop the Ball by Tiffany Dufu. And Kalia Tibbs is going to be our host for that conversation. And I think this is going to be, as I said, like a good connection to take back your time, but thinking more about what's on your plate and dealing with some of the perfectionism that keeps us from moving forward and feeling accomplished and being able to call ourselves enough and successful. And so I think that'll be the perfect way to end the year so that we're diving into 2023 with even more confidence about choosing what's right for us on our plate. We've been talking a lot about what's on your plate for next year. And I think that each one of these selections will help you make better decisions, help you curate your processes, and just think about how you are living and how you are creating and how you can do that with more ease, more effectiveness, and of course, just always more joy and more fun. That's what we want. We want scrapbooking always to be fun. But in reality, some parts are not quite as fun. Sometimes they're not as fun as the rest of it. If you've got 1,000 photos from a vacation, sometimes dealing with those can be frustrating. and we have a little kitty playing with my charger cable. All right, I lost my train of thought there. So, Mike Lowry says, you put so much thought into these choices. Thanks a lot. Looking forward to guest hosts as well. Yes, especially the longer we go on, we've read, some of the most well-known books in this particular space, trying to branch out. Some of these are a little bit older, some of them are a little bit newer. And I think this is going to be one of our best years yet. And in particular, because we have these guest hosts, having a new way to think about these questions and to think about how we're connecting everything to scrapbooking is going to be so fun. Alrighty, do you have any questions about book club or the planning party in general? So if you are just joining us, if you head over to simplescrapper.com/plan, that's where you can find all the details about the planning party. If you're already RSVP'd, fantastic. You should have received 2 to 3 emails from me by now, depending on what day you signed up. If you know you RSVP'd and you did not get an email, you can email me directly, Jennifer@simplescrapper.com, and I will investigate what happened. I did just send out some requests to a small number of people to confirm their email address because they had previously opted out of receiving emails from us. And so I wanted to make sure that our provider takes permission very, very seriously. And so I wanted to make sure that we still have permission by clicking that link so that they can start getting their emails again. So that could be one of you that applied to. If you have not RSVP'd, it is not too late. If you are watching this between November 16th and November 19th, go ahead and please still RSVP so that you can get on the list, make sure you're getting all of our daily emails for the planning party, as well as be eligible for Thursday night's prize drawing. So the planning party is going all week long through Friday, and we're having these fun events to talk about what we're doing at Simple Scrapper next year. And then the core of the planning party is this 3-part workbook exercise. So this is our brand new Your Way workbook for 2022, completely updated and redesigned from past years. And I'm really, really proud of where we have gone with this workbook and that we have these guided audios to go with it. So yesterday, tomorrow, and Friday, there's companion audios because the workbook has step 1, step 2, and step 3. And I want you to work through it slowly with intention and give yourself space and time to think about the questions. So we're just trying to create a gentle pace throughout the week. Plus, we know that you are busy as well. All right, lots of great questions here. Jen says, can't wait to join the book club this year. These all sound wonderful. When should I plan on finishing the first book in order to participate? Okay, so first answer is that you never actually have to read the book to participate. Everyone is always welcome to join us. Our meetings do occur inside of the membership. But we're anticipating having the conversations around the end of January, for example, for this one, beginning of February. And because we have these guest hosts, we're going to be working with them to select the exact dates for those meetings, and they will be announced before the end of this year. We're still wrapping up all of that right now. But yeah, so January, February, kind of on the cusp of that month transition, March, April, end of one month, very beginning of the next is when we'll be having the book club meetings. So basically you'll be reading it in the first month of that period. Carmen says, we have a new house with space for me to create again. Looking forward to rejoining for 2022. Fantastic. We have missed you, Carmen. Do you have a list on the site of book club books from past years? Yes, 100%. simplescrapper.com/book-club is where the new books as well as all of the old books, it actually it goes back all 7 years will be listed on there, so you can see everything that we've read and including the couple that we have reread. Yes, looks like Teresa asked the same question. I'm excited about committing to next year's book club. Yeah, 6 makes it super doable, particularly if you're a big reader and you're in other book clubs. Maybe you like to read a nice balance of fiction and nonfiction. So really excited about having some new book club members. Our discussion guides are available free for all on the book club website, but our book club meetings do happen inside of our membership. Alrighty. Any other questions for me? And now we have Ron. He likes cardboard boxes and chewing on them. So in a scrapbooky office, there's a lot of those, and so that's what he keeps jumping into. Alrighty here. Okay. If you have more questions, you know where to find me. I am so excited to release another audio lesson tomorrow. And so all those audios are on our podcast, but every single thing that we've talked about with the planning party will be on simplescrapper.com/plan, including the new book club list. I'll link it up there. It's the same page where you RSVP. Just go to that schedule area and you can see what is going on and catch up with everything that's happened so far. Carol's asking, will we have an overarching book like we did with Atomic Habits? Yes and no. I'm anticipating that we're going to be kind of weaving some of those conversations through, and I do think that soundtracks is going to be an ongoing conversation. We're not having a formal study group in the same way because we're kind of changing some things up next year with how we're bringing members together. We're actually going to have member meetings at the beginning of every journey where we'll have some of those conversations. And so all of that to be shared on Thursday night at our big reveal Zoom event. All right. Other questions here? These are great. Okay. I'm going to go. I'm going to let you guys have a great day, and I will see you here again soon. Thank you so much to all of our guest hosts. I'm so excited to be collaborating with you. And thank you everyone who is watching here live, as well as those of you who are watching in the replay. Planning party is my favorite week of the year. I told my husband last night, this is my Super Bowl. So everything I have is going into it. And I hope you guys have a great time and you have some really good conversations with each other and with yourself about what you want from your scrapbooking next year. Take care.